These pictures document the horrific events that occurred in consequence of the BP oil spill. Also known as the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, the BP oil spill occurred on the evening of the 20th of April 2010. At 10:30 that morning, the Deepwater Horizon crew had just been congratulated for working on the rig for 7 years without any serious accidents. An initial gas release resulted in a subsequent explosion on the Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico. The oil rig was 52 miles off the coast of Louisiana in 5,000 feet of water. The well was close to completion and 13,000 feet under the ocean. The fire burned for a continuous 36 hours before it sunk, and hydrocarbons leaked endlessly into the Gulf of Mexico before the well was finally sealed and closed. 11 workers died in consequences of the spill, and many others were injured. Now, we are going to look at old footage from when our senior reporter, Ron Berger,
David
traveled
Williams,
to the Gulf of Mexico to report on the event in 2010.
Hi, I'm David Williams, reporting live for CNN News off the south coast of Louisiana. As many of you have heard, there's been a massive oil spill which will affect the whole of the south coast of America. Now, as Claudia said from our studio, 11 are expected to have died in this disastrous event. Now, as I'm hearing right now, ships are still trying to put out the fire that is ongoing due to the huge amount of oil that's pouring out. Thank you, Jeff. Now, as we are likely to see in the upcoming months, the huge effects which will affecting all our wildlife and animals that are dying.
We now welcome our guest star, Theo Cooper Brown, who will be speaking to us about BP's oil prices.
Thanks, Cloud. BP's oil prices have plummeted to below 40% of the cost per barrel prior to the incident. This has resulted in the spurring of foreign economies, the UK's in particular. One could argue that an increased import rate of oil, due to lowered prices, can have harmful effects on the environment. Danny Alexander, Lib Dem Chief Secretary to the Treasury, said, "Falling oil prices act like a giant tax cut to the UK economy and will further boost our already established recovery." The question remains, will the bolstering of foreign economies catalyze a particularly harmful year for the global environment? Over to you,
In response to
Cloud.
the oil spill, BP have tried to act accordingly, and from 2010 all the way until December 2014, they have worked closely with the federal government to respond as quickly as possible and to compensate all people who are affected by the incident. Their immediate response to the peak of the oil spill in 2010 was the mobilization of nearly 48,000 people, the management of approximately 6,500 vessels, and the placement of approximately 2,500 miles of boom to contain and absorb the oil. As of last month, BP have collectively spent over $14 billion on the rehabilitation of the area and have devoted over 70 million hours on cleanup activities. We are now going live to the Gulf of Mexico again, nearly 5 years later from when David last visited.
I'm David Williams, reporting live from the scene of the BP oil spill that occurred 5 years ago. Since the disaster, millions of gallons of oil has washed upon the shores of the south coast, affecting tourism as well as harming wildlife. It is speculated that 8,000 birds have died, and the rate at which turtles are washed on shore has increased by 5. For every 100, there are now 500. This is a serious problem. This will continue as a serious issue for the future and should be investigated fully.
On a conclusive note, the BP oil spill has taken a detrimental toll on the wildlife of the Gulf of Mexico. Thank you, David and Cloud, for reporting live on the incident. I'm Theo, signing out.